You're tired of not knowing what's going on in social interactions. You're confused a lot of the time. You see people having fun, joking around, connecting with other people, but you seem to be the one behind in the conversation, the one in the corner, the one that doesn't get as much attention, as much respect. And you wonder why this happens. You start to overthink, you start to analyze, wondering what went right, what went wrong. Maybe you look for examples and try to figure out what's going on by watching videos online, trying to improve yourself. You try better each time and you try to get your points across, but people don't seem to take it seriously or understand what you're trying to say. This frustrates you and it's very, very annoying. What I want to do in this video is to get you from being in that situation where having that constriction in your throat, for not being able to express what you're saying, right? And not getting other people to hear you, to actually being able to read the social play, to read the room, to get other people to, to win friends and influence people, right? I want to get you in social situations to read the room, know what's happening, be snap, be witty, be sharp, make jokes, right? And you can probably think of a time where this happened to you and you were in the zone. It was a close group of friends, or it was a meeting that just things were just going right and you were doing well. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is replicable. And we're going to go into that today. I'm going to bring you 3 points that go into how you can actually do this in a practical, actionable way. Okay, inshallah. If you're interested in working with me personally, now these videos I go a little bit big picture. Sometimes it's scripted. Sometimes I have like written points down. Sometimes I just go off the cuff. So it's not as structured or organized as a real program would. So if you're interested in that, just check out the link below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so number 1 is just being present. And what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is having that state of focus, of being able to see the world as it is, to experience what's going on through different parts of your body. You're visually seeing some things, you're present hearing some things, you're being present with people, and you're actually present mentally as well, right? So you're not stuck up in your head. And this is oftentimes where we make the mistake, where we're not there. We're there physically, but we might not be there mentally. Okay, so the first thing to increase our presence, you want to understand the reality of Allah being there and He is watching, and increase that taqwa. Beyond that, you want to remove any distractions, because any distractions are going to, even in the shahada, right? It's I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship. That is first what you say. Right, you deny everything, you get rid of it. And this is a very Islamic approach. Even through tazkiyah, right, we try to remove the bad habits first. So are you scrolling online? Are you addicted to doing that? Are you around negative people maybe? Maybe are you looping on negative thought patterns? We need to remove that distraction. Are you looking at news that is horrible? Are you getting around people that are giving you a lot of bad feedback, that are putting you down, that are not letting you see the dreams that you have, or stopping you from committing good deeds? You want to remove yourself from these people. And what you really want to do is clear your lens, clears your eyes. Do you have the wrong way of thinking? Do you have non-Islamic ways of thinking? Right? Maybe school programmed this into you, right? It probably did. I know it did to me. Okay, and then we're going to remove that and then accept reality for what it is. And once you're starting to accept reality, accept the truth, accept Islam as the full truth, you are more present, okay? So presence in the context of socializing means you're actually there with the person, right? So you're able to read their body language easily. It's like a vibe. You're able to feel what they feel, right? If you're in your head, you might not be aware of this, right? But subhanAllah, we've been blessed with this emotional guidance system that is there for a reason, right? And all we have to do is unlock this tool. Actually, every human is actually very good at reading people. It's just we're not all conscious about it, right? So if you're able to bring that to your awareness, you're going to have a much better idea of how your actions affect people. And a good thermometer, little reading to see if it's going well or not, is the person tensing up? Or is the person staying loose? If they're tensing up, maybe you're doing something wrong. If they're loosening up, then maybe you're doing something right. Next, we're going to go on to just building that emotional intelligence, which I think is hugely, hugely, hugely underrated, and people don't talk about it in the way that it should. So we can't go into the depth of that in this course. There's many things that you can look up, body awareness, and try to get out of here and into here, right? More into the feeling, more into the actually your physical body. Like, can you feel the sensations, the emotions that are going on, or have you just disconnected yourself from them, right? And this brings a lot of strength, right? You think that, oh, not being emotional is, that's what being a stoic man is, but the Western society has made you think in the Western self-help, and it's like, oh, like embrace, reject, comfort, embrace, battle, or whatever, these little memes going around of these like stoics. And Islam is not like that. And the Prophet ﷺ was a strong man, yet a humble man. He was strong and led armies, yet he also cried, right? So there is this holistic balance, the Care Bear. It's the Care Bear identity that Muslims have, right? We're very strong, but we also have that emotional part grounded and our spiritual roots with Allah. Okay, so be aware of yourself. What's going on? How do you feel? How do you react to things? Right? And then if you start to understand that, you'll start to understand it in other people. Right? And you can see what other people are feeling, how things are reacting to them. And not just, part of it is the analytical skill, but can you get into the feel of it? It's about 20% when you're socializing. You want it to be about 20% an analytical skill, but the 80% is the vibes, the emotional skills. Okay, and that's how you're going to start to become aware of that. And then you can start to heal as well, right? When you can recognize what's going on with you and blockages that you might have, you can start to, right? The first step is always acceptance, and then you can start to solve the problem and actually heal yourself. Okay, next one is express your authenticity. So we are servants of Allah, and we have been given also different personalities as well, different temperaments, right? None of the Sahaba were exactly the same, exactly alike, right? They all had a different personality. If you look about this, some of them were similar to each other, but they all had different personalities, right? And these are strengths, subhanAllah, right? Allah has created us in a certain way with certain talents, certain abilities. And are you able to just share that personality with other people, and also refine it to have an Islamic personality, but then also share who you are with other people, instead of trying to sort of put on a mask, trying to be this like overly, like sell yourself as this like overly like religious person, or like this overly like whatever you're trying to be. It doesn't have to be. Of course, there are situations where you obviously want to encourage being. Following Islam and following Allah's laws. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to hold on to an identity, like being a qualified person in your field, or trying to hold on to this identity of being like a cool person, or anything like this, it's just you're holding on to an identity. The Islamic identity is very malleable. It's not easily broken. It's not fragile. And those are fragile identities. Okay? And then once you're able to do that and start doing that and sharing like thoughts with people, like you just think of something in your mind and you just say it out loud to people, even on the street, people that you don't know. You're waiting somewhere in a waiting room, you just say, hey, I like your book. Like, hey, make an observation, right? And just share it with people, right? And this is going to start to get you in the habit of authentically expressing with people, okay? And then the final step is after you authentically are able to express. Now, not everybody would be able to relate with that super easy. So you start to calibrate to other people, and you start to get start to gauge, like what I was talking about earlier. You gauge, are they a bit more tense? Are they a bit more loose when you do things? And only then you're able to calibrate to other people and see what works and see what doesn't. Okay? How do we do this practically? Well, I'm going to say start meeting some new people. I'd say that's really how you're going to break that you're in certain habits right now that you're used to meeting the same people and you act the same way. So if you're constantly meeting new people, you're going to, it's very good for you because you're going to get more references, more reference experience, and you're going to see yourself doing well socially. Allah has given you the raw materials, right? Your body, your personality, your mind, your emotions, right? To be able to do well socially, right? You were actually equipped, and we have to be grateful for that. I hope you guys understand that. That's a really deep point, that Allah has blessed us with all the raw materials in order to do well socially. You just have to sort of go and do it. Go into social groups, join a new class, join something where, maybe a physical activity, something where people are a little bit outside of their mind. I know book clubs are cool too, and maybe you can meet some cool people there, but try to get into somewhere where it's a little bit more, everybody's a little bit more loose, right? There's a bit of a, and also where people are a little bit more, there's like a barrier to entry where you're meeting like better quality people. So for example, like the gym, like usually the gym is, you're going to find people that are at least trying to work on their fitness, right? That's a good way to meet people, right? So there are different ways to do this. Go to the masjid. These people are probably trying to work on themselves spiritually, right? So see how you can sort of vet and qualify and find, yes, you can meet people off the street, and I've made good connections there too, and had great experiences, but you also want to, I'm not saying be pretentious about who you're meeting, but also like if you want to meet some higher quality people, you can think about where those people would congregate. Okay, so with that, this is how you're going to start to read the social play. How you're going to stop being tone deaf in situations. And I know it really sucks when you're not able to know what's going on, but if you're able to go out, get those reference experiences, you're going to be able to do much, much better, inshallah. And if you're interested in working on these in a little bit more structured manner, if you want help from me personally, just see if you qualify to join one of the programs down below. Just click the link below. It's right there. Even if you're just thinking about it, no harm in clicking the link below and check it out, inshallah. I want to congratulate you to make the end of this video, and you're really taking the steps to get the knowledge that you need to do well socially as a Muslim man. So I put props to you. Make sure you take action, like, comment, subscribe, and put this stuff into practice, inshallah. Otherwise, it is wasteful knowledge. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.